Well, we expected that to happen, and it did happen. Real Madrid are through to the Champions League semifinal after knocking out Chelsea by a 2-0 scoreline, 4-0 on aggregate. There are a couple things in this game that kind of shocked me. One, Real Madrid didn't get up to full gear at all. Kind of seemed like they were just baiting Chelsea, weathering the storm, waiting until they ran out of gas, and they capitalized. You'll see it in the analysis here today. Real Madrid just did exactly what they had to do. They played like champions. They played like, an elite club. They did what they had to do, and they got through to the next round. Two, Chelsea actually played with intent. Obviously, they had to because they were 2 goals down. But why can't Chelsea play like this on a consistent basis? Why can't they play like this in the Premier League? I know there were still no goals in this match, and we'll talk about Chelsea's poor finishing. But before we get into anything else, make sure you like the video if you like the content today. Subscribe, as it really does help the channel, and share it with your friends so we can continue to grow this family. Now, first, let's just get straight into it, the thing that everybody loves most, the goals. The first goal was shambolic from Chelsea's point of view. The defending was atrocious. I'm going to put a screen grab up now. First, it was kind of the erratic mistake by Marc Cucurella to push up so high and kind of lead his own press in a position where Chelsea were so vulnerable. The ball had been switched over to the other side. So, of course, a majority of Chelsea's players are going to be gravitating towards the ball. For Cucurella in this kind of moment to decide to then press what was a lost cause was so out of bounds for a Chelsea player, a Premier League player, Champions League level player. And then for Trevor Chalobah to make the mistake, instead of running with Rodrigo, who is quick, Chalobah is not the quickest. That doesn't mean you then go ahead and go for a slide tackle in a compromising position. Rodrigo had all the time in the world after that slide tackle. Poor defending all around from Chelsea. And we know the result. Rodrigo crosses the ball into the box. Thiago Silva and Wesley Fofana run into each other. It eventually finds its way back to Rodrigo. And the rest is history. Now, for Chelsea, like I said, that's a poor goal. For Real Madrid, they're chomping at the bits. That's an impressive goal from a team that really wasn't playing to their fullest strength. They had all the right players in today. Every single player was a starting 11 player, but they weren't going full out. Real Madrid are a devastating team, and to kind of see them play a little lax against this Chelsea team, it was embarrassing from the Chelsea standpoint. The second goal, Chelsea had no choice at this point to just bring on all the attackers that they had and try and get something from this game, try and give themselves a chance. Unfortunately, they left themselves wide open, and Rodrigo finds himself at the end of some excellent play by Fede Valverde, who is a world-class player. That is the definition of a world-class midfielder, one who works so hard on both sides of the ball, one who's so technically gifted. His passing range is excellent, vision excellent, defensive prowess excellent. He's literally the perfect midfielder for any team in the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A. He has it all. Now, I want to get into a couple of things in this game in the first and second half. Golden opportunities for both teams. N'Golo Kante missed what was a pretty bad, it was pretty bad. The miss was bad. N'Golo Kante had an amazing chance in the 10th minute of the game. Shanked it with his left. Now, in that position, you don't want N'Golo Kante to be the person who gets his strike away. You want a striker, but Chelsea don't have any. The finishing today from Chelsea sums up not just this game, not just this tie, not just their run in the Champions League, their entire season as a whole. There was actually a stat given in this game that I'm actually going to apply to now after we've seen this result. Chelsea haven't scored a goal in 15 of their last 25 matches in all competitions. Chelsea, the same team that bought a plethora, an army of attackers, they're the same team that haven't scored in 15 of their last 25 matches. No team is worse in the Premier League since October than Chelsea. There's a crisis going on, we understand, but there were signs in this game that Chelsea actually has some life. I thought there were brilliant moments of play. Real Madrid were pressing super high this game. It was incessant. They were literally not giving Chelsea any time to take more than one touch. It was one-touch football for majority of the first half from Chelsea, which I thought actually suited their game. They were zipping passes around. Reece James was really connecting well with Gallagher. Kovacic was linking up to play well. Kante was doing his job, his role, apart from his miss. And there were chances for Chelsea. Cucurella had an excellent chance at the end of the first half. It was actually turned out to be a great save from Courtois, who is an immense goalkeeper. You know, a lot of people would have said Cucurella blast. You got to put that into the roof of the net. I mean, look, Courtois is like, what, 6'6", 6'7"? It's difficult, especially when you're not used to being in a position like that. Cucurella is not used to being that far forward, wide open. So you have to give him a little bit of slack. Yes, he's a professional, but every professional has different skill sets. And when you're going up against Thibaut Courtois, it's always going to be difficult. It's always going to be a challenge. For Chelsea, that really could just sum up the game is the finishing. The finishing lacked. There were chances, moments of brilliance, like I said. Second half, too, Joao Felix, Eder Militao went on a great run. The final ball is poor. The finishing is poor. There's just nothing going for this Chelsea team. There's nothing going for them. Doesn't matter how well they play in moments. They need to find a result, and fast. They're fading. They are fading. The more players they brought in, the worse they got. Isn't it supposed to be the opposite effect? Chelsea this season have been so poor, and I'm talking about them a lot in this video because that's the main topic. Nobody expected Real Madrid to lose this game. Now, if we want to talk about Real Madrid and going into the next round, it's either they're going to face Manchester City or Bayern Munich. More often than not, they're going to face Manchester City. That is going to be the decider right there. AC Milan has gone through to the semifinal. Inter Milan is assuring to go, so it'll be a Milan derby in the semifinal, which would be fantastic. So there's going to be an Italian team, hopefully, in the Champions League final. But whoever wins the Real Madrid-Manchester City game, assumedly, they're not going to beat them. Manchester City look they look unstoppable. They look too fired up. They look too confident. And Real Madrid are just so level-headed. They're so calm. They're so cool. They're so ruthless. Both teams have that shared commonality. They're ruthless. They play ruggedly. If something's on the line, they both play with their hearts on the sleeve. Every single player on the pitch plays with their hearts on the sleeve. So it's going to be amazing to see how they both match up. I'm going to cover that, without a doubt. I'm going to cover the games tomorrow as well. We have blockbuster Manchester City and Bayern Munich in Germany. We'll see how Bayern react to the 3-0 devastating loss, which could have been 7 if not for Jan Sommer. And Inter Milan look like they've cleaned up Benfica. So trust me, guys, we're going to have more Champions League coverage. I want to know what you think in the comments, though. What do you think about this Chelsea team? Do you think moving forward in the Premier League, because they're out of Europe, they're not going to make Europe. They might not even make it next season based off current form. Now, things can change over the summer. Do you think Chelsea have what it takes to at least finish in the top half of the Premier League? Today was a better example of how Chelsea can play well against the big teams. They can play well against smaller teams, mediocre teams. The finishing aspect needs to change. Where is Fofana? Datro Fofana? Where's Aubameyang? Where are their strikers? Why are they utilizing midfielders as strikers? You might as well actually play someone who is a striker, who's physical, who gets into attacking positions, who can get into the box. Chelsea players are afraid to get into the box. It's mystical. What do you guys think about Chelsea this season? Do you think they're going to finish in the top half of the Premier League, or do you think it's going to be the first season we've seen in a long time where a top team has finished in the bottom half of the table? And as for Real Madrid, do you think that they're going to win the Champions League, even if Manchester City could be a future opponent? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, it's been a pleasure talking to you. You guys are the fam. And this has been Football with the Fam. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day.